Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for CDEC versus LGD Gaming. Took a little bit longer than expected because CDEC were a little bit late. They didn't get reserve time docked though, so a bit of an oversight. Should have been at the very least last game or last series we had that bit of a draft penalty, but not this time. Not sure if it'll help them though. CDC, they haven't been doing too well in this particular tournament. They're sitting at 3 and 15, I believe, after their loss early against eHome Keen. And yeah, they're pretty much out of the running here for the top 6 slots, which you need to go through to the playoffs. Especially considering the other matches that they have left. I believe one against Wings and one against VG Gaming. So I don't see them winning a whole lot of those. But LGD, bit of a different story. They're sitting at let me double check that. They're sitting at 9 and 3 now after this last game. This 2-0 victory against VG Gaming, which was quite surprising. They've been looking extremely good. So they're sitting in a reasonably comfortable position, but if they can secure themselves a 2-0 win up against CDC as well, then they should be pretty much set to go through to the playoffs here in Dota 2 Professional League Season 3. My name is Dragon Job. Once again, happy to bring you the series. Skim unfortunately had to leave, so it's just gonna be me for now. 2 games full of me solo casting. That's gonna be fun. Yay. I wouldn't blame you if you muted me though, and put on some nice funky music. But yeah, CDC started strong once again. We've in Vengeful Spirits, so bit of a minus armor strat perhaps coming out. Also great, we've of course great against the Lifestealer, who somehow made it through the banning stage. It feels like more often than not to see that hero taken out in the first phase. It's how popular it is in the current day and age. But yeah, these bans in particular, I mean Magnus, understandable, Abaddon as well, Ursa, and the Centaur. That leaves a couple of other heroes in the pool that have still not yet been picked here as LGD go back for Nyx Assassin for Old 11, most likely. So there's still the Monkey King in the pool, still the Slaughter, 2 high-value heroes. And yeah, there's one of them being banned out. And yeah, both teams actually still have room for the Monkey King still. Unless it's banned out now. CDC probably thinking about that. They already banned out the Earth Spirit, so very similar hero in terms of what they want to do and what they want to accomplish on a map in the early levels. Arguably Monkey King more effective these days, maybe just because people have yet to figure him out fully and figure out counters. Start to dip into reserve time. And they get rid of the Warlock actually. Alright, so not sure if that's something that LGD was looking at. But it wouldn't have been the worst pick, I suppose. I mean, some good extra help in the laning stage and some control. I mean, Warlock can give you a whole lot of things. But LGD have, in the last couple of games, they've opted for like strategies that can go ham and have some sort of fallback. Especially in the first game up against VG Gaming, they had a really strong 4-man lineup that created a lot of space for Ame on the Naga Siren. So might want to fall back for something like that if they really want to. With lifesteal, of course, though, I mean, it really lends itself better to some sort of mid-game lineup where the lifestealer gets involved, where they start getting some kills, and if they now add some push to the lineup, then they'll also be able to claim objectives early instead of having to wait for lifestealer to get to a point where he starts shooting through towers himself. Speaking of push though, CDC getting some of that themselves, and also a great solution to the Lifestealer, just to be able to kite him around even more inside his rage, which he still very much relies on to be able to be effective in a team fight. So the Beastmaster role will be able to help against that. Only to a point though where the Lifestealer doesn't just initiate and blows you up in the first place, which is a very real possibility. Another great job for the Nyx Assassin to be able to carry out with his vendetta. So if they go on the Beastmaster, they should blow up to that combination every single time, and then, well, if you don't get the roar off, obviously you're not getting any value out of it. So they have to rely on like have to rely on being able to scout out the next rotations, being able to just position themselves properly and just have the map sense going. Because like the longer you dodge these kind of gangs, the longer the lifesteal is infested into somebody looking for something but not actually doing anything, the longer you yourself have time to maybe farm up, and you're just wasting a lot of the lifesteal's time and space at that point, which is the ideal goal. LGD going for the Kunkka, so that's a hero that also fits well into this general idea of being able to team fight. Should be another support here, or the first support even, with Nyx Assassin presumably going offlane. So very good space controlling hero with the axe, good damage output later on as well. You often see these 4-position greedy Kunkkas going like face boots and armlets still, not buying too many support items. So what they will probably want is a hero like perhaps a Crystal Maiden even, that doesn't necessarily need a whole lot of items, uh, that can pick up that burden of being the 5 or even 6-position hero in that sense. And it's also still in the pool, so they do have to contend with Monkey King. And made it all the way to the fourth pick. First pick. What am I talking about? But yeah, CDC grabbing that up for themselves, and LGD going back for the puck. So Skim mentioned that, I believe, in that in the last series, that both LGD as well as VG Gaming really loved picking up the puck. We saw it in the hands of maybe earlier.
10 seconds
And
remaining.
was it maybe? Yeah. Yeah,
5 seconds
it was
remaining.
in that first game where Ori was handling the Phantom Assassin, I believe.
Reserve time.
And yeah, I was able to get quite a few things done, especially in this game. It's yet another carrier for the Lifestealer, and a great space controller for him as well, right? The same way that it works with the Ursa, for instance, and also in the same way that the support hero like a Disruptor would work together with heroes like Lifesteal and Ursa. Just being able to control the team fight, being able to keep people in an area so Lifesteal doesn't get kited around as much. That's the general idea behind the puck and this Dream Coil.
10 seconds remaining.
It's a lot of burst damage in its own right, though. Silence is great against the Weaver, so
5 seconds remaining.
everyone inside of CDC except maybe the Beastmaster has to worry about a puck if he gets off to a good start. So it's really going to come down to these rotations. And the mid hero that CDC end up picking that can deal with the puck and make sure that it doesn't snowball. LGD now looking for still another support. Disruptor taken out. Yeah, that would have been a nice one to round this out with still. But I'm still thinking CM here could be good.
5 seconds
Other than that, maybe something with a little bit more setup. Rubik comes to mind.
Reserve time.
Yeah, there's some time to think about it. The Phoenix. Alright, I did not expect this one.
Dire team pick.
I did not expect this one at all. Alright, so CDC. Okay, they respond with a Windrunner. I'm not sure about that one, to be quite honest. Because generally when you see a Phoenix, what you want is attack speed more so than anything else. And you could say, yeah, Windrunner, Focus Fire, yada yada yada, but obviously that does not work on the egg. So they might run into issues with just the running straight into all of this control and all of this mid-game damage from not just the cores, but also the supports on LGD. They went very greedy with this, right? Phoenix as well as Kunkka. I mean, they not necessarily known to be the best early game support, so maybe that's where CDC is just trying to find an opening with Monkey King and some dual lanes.
10
Even just a
seconds
solo
remaining.
safe lane Weaver. Doesn't necessarily need too much help past the first couple of
5
levels.
seconds
So the Vengeful
remaining.
Spirit can roam together with the Monkey King towards the mid lane, where the Windrunner will probably end up, and the bottom lane too, where the Beastmaster can hang out, unless he wants to jungle straight off the bat with an Iron Talon. That's also effective enough. And that's often the way that teams go if they're faced up against a Lifestealer. So things with Lifestealers. In most matchups, especially against melee heroes, he is very hard to deal with just because he does so much damage and trades very efficiently with the Feast. So often what you see teams do is just dodge it entirely and go jungle. Wouldn't be too surprised to see that come out. The trade-off is that you then end up with a Lifestealer that has complete free farm. And this is never Never a fun thing to have to deal with, that's for damn sure. I mean, it's a calculated risk, essentially,
Prepare for battle.
every single time. Alright, game number 1 here of this very last best of 2 for today's DPL action. Of course, you might have been confused here by the schedules on the various sites that's had IG and whatnot, these kind of teams in it. But of course, with DEC coming up, it had to be changed a little bit. And now old 11. I think he saw June here and might have figured out that there's a ward being planted down and massive pings coming through. This guy, man, he's just recently switched from eHome to LGD. He's been doing so much work on this offlane position in the past 2 games up against VG Gaming, and now back in Nyx Assassin, already off to a good start, scouting out that ward placement. It's not an easy thing to be doing up against a Monkey King too. But yeah. That is one ward down, the other one is sitting up there. Very nice little spot actually. Never seen that one used. Lots safer than this high ground spot. And don't think it's commonly countered even.
The battle begins.
And sometimes you see the other ward there, right in lane. Yeah, it gives the same type of vision, right? Just keep an eye on the rotations here through there. And also, not so much here to the river though. There's a catches part of the staircase, but not really a huge amount. Hey, we'll see how this works out here, especially with Yao on this Phoenix. Very colorful bird. What are these cosmetics, by the way? Don't think I've seen them before. Ah, that's Supernova Egg. Oh, I'm so looking forward to that one. Holy shit. So waiting for that one. Top lane though? Okay. Old 11 might be in a bit of trouble. 3 heroes bashing away at him, and Pullman shields, 5 armor on the tower, and 4 health regen. Keep him alive though. Very tanky little buggy. He'll be forced to shrine up very early though. That's kind of the flip side. That's the one thing that they were looking for. But he has himself a self shipped out, so can still go aggressively, try and find some extra experience, which is the reason why you go for this much regen still, even after using the shrine. He wants to have a couple of levels, but so far the support's still hanging around. June just waiting for an angle to Primal Spring in. The old 11. Yeah, there it is. Primal Spring doesn't actually connect with the slow, so very bold, but very heads up play from him. Mimo's on bottom in flame. Well, doesn't have the same luxuries of being super tanky without a Pullman shield, so he does get caught with the first blood as he's trying to do a bit of a pull. I don't even know why he was there, to be honest. But they make it happen down here. First level, first point up to the axe on Coca, very uncommon, but definitely helped them out. And Sunray too from the Phoenix. And then, yeah, that's all we really need. Keeping him there for aim to just shoo into. Open woods also helping with the slow. So yeah, this off lane going quite well. And as I said, this is the reason why we generally see these heroes dodge it entirely and then go back to the jungle. He has the Untitled recipe queued up, so that's what he'll eventually do. But for now, Yao even going across, sneaking up the bounty run. I guess June is doing the same thing on the other end. Let's keep expecting him to go on old 11, but so far he's been doing a good job. Almost level 3 now. June is back, he's out of tangos. Gotta be careful, he doesn't actually have a point of spike carapace just yet. Creep needs to die for that to happen, but without that, no way of actually giving him some room to breathe. Stun only hitting 1-2. He actually does end up going down after all. Let's talk about this mid matchup here, because Windrunner, far from common even in the Chinese scene. And up against the puck, should be fairly even if you really think about it. Both heroes have nukes that they can use to kind of harass and CS at the same time. And so far, maybe I'd say it's slightly outplaying, but September has more denies. Well, maybe has a couple more last hits. He's playing very aggressively here. And knows he can actually do that, just playing around the orb. And knowing that there's not actually too many good heroes that can rotate around. I think it's down to June though, right? He's been showing up in the top lane instead of just jumping around the trees. I think if June just stays off the map, even if he's sitting on top waiting for an opportunity there, I don't think maybe just plays this aggressively.
Dire's top tower is under
Got a lot of extra harassment in, and eventually that'll turn into a kill once they hit level 6. Maybe gets a huge spike in kill potential. That's the point where we'll probably see them go for something on September with the Dream Coil and some sort of support rotation. Speaking of support, so bottom lane, Victoria being caught by June. Yeah, he has the 4 hits in from the Jingle Mastery, looking to get the kill here and will be able to. X still going here for aim with a follow-up slow, looking for the counter kill and should be able to maybe finish it off. Definitely would be if he raged up a little bit earlier, but now with the face boots making that body block ineffectual, we'll still be able to secure it without popping that spell, which is ultimately better. Even gets the boar, so extra experience, extra gold. Willem, that is, yeah, actually Demons making rotation through, but so does the Kunkka TPing into the lane. They'll get the kill, Sunray comes through, but the Wind Run gives him enough moves and speed to walk out of range of that. Maybe? Didn't actually go for bottle, so I'm starting to run out of region. Bit of an issue. He will be able to secure enough money for a bottle. And this is, I believe, the raindrops saving his life. Phase shift a little bit too late, so they're playing very bold. Meanwhile, up top, old 11 still trying to soak experience. That Primal Spring will miss. He realized that he cannot afford to die again, so he plays a little bit more defensively. He's trying to pull the creeps bit. Creeps away, back to closer to his tower bit by bit. That being said, well, gotta be careful. But then again, just knowing that Flyby doesn't have mana, you're actually missing a huge amount of damage up. But they're still gonna try and go for it, but Old 11 right on top of it. Dodging the slow from Jingle Mastery. Flyby tries to get in front of him, doesn't quite get it. Gets a couple of procs off the, a couple of seconds off of that self, and that might be enough. It might not be though, with that Boundless Strike coming up. Stick charges though. And Flyby, okay. He's diving very deep for this, but Old 11 will just TP out. Not guessing correctly the first time, so as a result, a lot of time wasted on Flyby as he has to walk all the way around. Unless he wants to tank some more tower shots. This top lane, even though they killed him once, Old 11's still winning it just with the amount of pressure that he's putting on. Vengeful Spirit was there most of the time, and so was middle lane actually. What's going on here? Okay, 3-man dive into that. June just a little bit too late to help out. That's the Dream Call used, yeah, just what I was talking about. Pockets level 6, Dream Call is used, supports rotate to provide that extra bit of damage, and they get a kill on the opposing mid laner. And Windrunner can't do the same thing. Focus Fire is just not that kind of spell, even if he was level 6. So generally what Windrunners will do is skip the ultimate for a couple of levels, go for extra points and power shot instead, especially since it's been buffed. Right. Easing in-game sound a bit, I can do that. Tell me if it's getting too loud. Old 11 up against Flyby here. He does have some help from Kunkka. There it is, the Sunray also coming through. Flyby doesn't have mana, doesn't even have level 6 for time lapse if he wanted it. Or if he had enough mana. So yeah. As I was trying to say, I mean, this constant pressure up top on the Weaver and the supports being forced, or feeling forced, to stick around middle lane actually? Maybe, gotta be careful. Doesn't actually have the orb for another second. And one last long-range right-click will secure the kill after the power shot, so good rotation from June. That's what he needed to do earlier, I feel like. Try and kill the Puck, put on pressure on him, help out his mid laner. Because him sticking around up top together with demons means that Weaver is still not yet level 6. Compare that to the lifesteal, he's level 8. Makes a huge difference. Army, he will be able, once he finishes up the... Is he actually going... He's going Midas. Oh god. I was gonna say, yeah, once he just finishes up the armlet, which he probably has by now. Already has the gloves in his inventory, but no, he goes Midas. Something that I see a lot in China these days. On a variety of heroes. I necessarily agree with it, but hey, he might still be able to get the kill on the flame, but June also have something to say about that. The Raw comes through. He only used the Infest for the extra damage, and now June with the Jingo Mastery trying to turn this around, and he will be able to get the kill. It's a ridiculous amount of bonus that you get on this hero, so... No TP rotations from the rest of LGD means that AIM ends up taking the spell. At the very least he used the Midas, so... That's the efficiency going for him. Still way ahead in terms of net worth, actually, so... This is good and bad at the same time. Okay, that power shot almost sniped the Phoenix there inside the trees. It's kind of crazy to see. Yeah. Max level, 420 no scope. That's how much damage he's doing on a 9-second cooldown. Pretty good spell to have. Much better than that early point in Focus Fire, that's for sure. But yeah, it looks like LGD is just happy to play the long game, just continue passively farming up a little bit. Ideally, they want their level 6s on supports. So, on that background, it makes a lot of sense. AIM now naturally just going to be able to jungle it up a little bit more, so the bottom lane is free for Phoenix to get some extra levels. But once they have the Phoenix egg, once they have the boat, they'll be able to teamfight much more effectively than they would be right now, even if the Lifestealer was involved in any capacity. And you're also looking, of course, for the mobility items on the puck. But he's also going for End of Midas, so not gonna have that for a while. Got that taunt, what the hell. And now, Axe on September here, he's battling it up with the Konka. Wukong's command comes out to try and turn this with the Raw in the middle of that, and they just blow off the puck instantly. AIM sitting in the middle of that, gets a counter kill. So 1-4 trade so far, now the Infest into old 11 here, playing Taxi Service. But Phoenix gets a dive out, didn't have to use it earlier. So all of a sudden, a lot of spells being cast in this bottom rune spot, but it does turn into 1-for-1 mid-trade. That's only because CDEC is able to get the control up on park before he casts a couple of spells, because if he gets the spells off, I think this fight turns out differently. But yeah. LGD, once again, they're going for the long haul. Midas isn't everybody. Wouldn't be too surprised to see old 11 go back for one himself now. That's what you usually see on Nyx Assassins. Pullman Shield and go into Arcane Boots or Sustain, but then still go back for the Midas because you really want these levels. So far he's a little bit behind on level 6, you could say. Compare that to the Beastmaster who's been jungling a little bit more in Flame, up to level 8 already. Just an effect of the supports, spending a lot of time zoning them out of the top lane and leeching experience. So you're trading your levels on a Nyx for essentially levels on Flyby, who finally is now being left to his own devices up top so you can catch up. And generally that's a trade that you want to take every day of the week as an offlaner if you can still get your level 6 anyway, which he does. Well, which he did. And now with the Bounty Runes, even level 8 himself, so... Not the worst. Bottom lane, might see a fight brewing here, says continuing to try and chip away at this tower. The Hawk, they have the balls at the ready, Monkey King jumping about, Demons, and now September. Sep here with the Invis Rune, looking to try and make something happen. And that is Shackle connecting onto AIM. Wukong's command come through, but the boat to try and turn this around, is it gonna be enough here with the Sunray? Maybe, yeah, he can start to turn this around, get some Lifesteal to swap out. Will still secure the kill somehow. That's CDC. Are they gonna lose anyone down here in the bottom lane? They did lose the Weaver up top while they were setting up. Was maybe making that rotation with the Dream Coil, but now it's still down bottom here. That's a Beastmaster. He's Zexed up. The tower finally starts right-clicking him. He's quite tanky, but should eventually fall unless June wants to try and help him out. But yeah. Maybe he has to show up and says, yo, I'm here, I'm in the game. I'm super strong, even with the Midas. I have enough burst. Snags up another kill for himself, so yeah. Lifesteal dying there is a huge deal. I mean, they blew up everything on him. If he didn't die there right away, if he could have maybe gotten the Infest off on something, one of his teammates walk out again, like he did last time, that would have been a big deal. I'm not sure what he got swapped into, but that was ultimately what did him in. But other than that, great turnaround here. LGD was ready for that, of course, for CDC taking so long to find a good position in the bottom lane.
Radiant's
They were ready
bottom
with the
tower is
supports.
under attack.
Great boat from Kunkka, great Sunray as well, to keep the lifestealer alive as long as they did. So, once again, it's a fight that could have been much, much worse for CDC.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
And speaking of much worse, September actually cancels Sunray with the nice little shackles. 4-man boundless strike, but the boat was already in the way. Demons now looking to try and trade for M99 for Victoria here. Not even gonna get that here with Sun being plopped down. And plenty of control. The tower actually gets one right click off, one hit,
Dire's middle tower
one auto
is under
attack. Well, the tower wasn't actually right clicking, I know. Now June, trying to go for the jump in, but yeah, LGD ready to turn, throw it on the stun, a lot of damage from long range. So maybe with a double kill, they might lose a couple of extra heroes here. Old 11 is still quite tanky. They don't have a shrine up on the high ground, which is a bit annoying. But they had a little bit of extra control with the spike carapace.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Minus 16 armor, the bug nibbling away for so long, but now it's finally timing out. Yeah, they get away with murder there. June just being a little bit
Dire's
too,
top tower has fallen.
a little bit too deep.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant structures are
The
fortified.
lane tower with focus fire being employed to try and bring it down a little bit, but Conker's there already. Gotta watch out for the X-Torrent boat combo. Just holding that one for now. Now, Old 11, well, he's invis. Might get a passenger soon, but might not need to here. The axe drags him back again, and now the extra bomb as Weaver he actually pops the coil. Unable to keep himself alive because of it, because he was stunned. Couldn't use the sticks into time lapse, and there's a huge victory. Bring down 2 cores, get the tier 1 tower. In the meanwhile, Yao is still farming down bottom, so I'm getting some extra efficiency across the map.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
That's with CDC, you gotta be careful, right? If they start to fall apart now, it can snowball extremely heavily. Especially with all these Midases going. How many do we have at this point?
Dire's middle tower is
Yeah,
under
just aiming
attack.
maybe still. Old 11. He has it queued up. He wants it. But yeah, CDC don't have their own Midases. That's the big flip side, and they're losing heroes like that means that they're losing out in a number of different ways economically. And of course, you also have to question whether it's a wise idea to pick an int hero, an int carry hero in. Oh, good spec Carapace actually, but Old 11 a little bit too far away to set up on something after the fact. But yeah, how wise it is to pick an int mid hero up against the Nyx Assassin Mana Burn. It's some decent int
Radiant's
gain.
top tower is under attack.
It could be an issue for Windrunner going forward. Once that gets leveled up to max.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, now smoke up CDC. Try and make something happen here on this tier 1 tower defense. All of LGD is making their way down here. All they're missing is Old 11, who's now skittering on over. And now June goes to take the fight here. Good shackle there on one, so that's a Kunkka out of the picture. No boats, and they're also gonna get the Phoenix Sun. Nothing to protect that one. The rest of LGD get out, then it's still alright, perhaps. Old 11, do they have detection for him? Doesn't look like it. Lifesteal inside of him. Now they might actually be able to find Flyby here with the silencer. Just blow him up instantly. And this is something that CDC should not have lost. It just took a great fight, but they just threw another bone towards LGD after that. And that's a bone with a lot of meat on it too. But you need to rely on your Weaver to be able to get ahead. But right now, if you look at network distribution, he's even a little bit behind his own 4-position Monkey King.
Dire's middle tower.
That's not a good place to be. Especially if your mid lane hero is in a similar position. Nice. Lifestealer is closing in on doubling up this net worth if this goes on like that. Once again, that's the effect of the Midas and the couple of kills that LGD has been able to grab for themselves.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
So CDC is like one step forward, but
Dire's bottom
two steps
tower
back
has
almost in
fallen.
that sense. They still lose the tower, and now Infest into the Invis next, who TPs up to the top lane here. They did see Flyby, and of course it's still a very valuable and easy target. Just need to start with any sort of lockdown, and they can burst him through doing that. There it is. He even gets the right click off from Vendetta. Yeah. Did have detection too, so yeah, if he gets time loops off and Shikuchi off, even though you have detection, you don't really have a way of slowing him down after the impale. Unless he Shikuchi's into his spike carapace, I suppose. It's like a free 2.4 second stun at this point with max level. So yeah, LGD looking strong again, looking at the graphs, yeah, 7.5k in terms of both gold and experience. Now they're setting up on their own high ground. CDC? Oh no, it's stage. Okay, I think they figured it out. I think they figured it out. Canceling a TP very wisely. And yeah, now LGD looks to be regrouping up. Maybe find a Roshan at some point. Ideally after a pick off, and yeah, this is Old 11 once again playing the carrier. They pop the smoke, it will be denied immediately. Nice shackle on too. It might be even the setup for CDC to make something happen, but maybe not enough Sunray keeping them alive. The bug's on top of them, but they still gonna take the fight. Wukong's command, lagging the game like crazy, but it's CDC who start dropping. One by one. I don't know how the command ended. It wasn't time to end, and he's still alive. It's so odd. Should have been sitting there for a while longer, shouldn't it? I don't know. I'm so confused. Maybe if he just pops a random coil. Actually, you used it in fight, of course. So the TP off the tree will be successful, but LGD, well, they were the ones initiated on. I mean, sure, they were walking as 5, so it's not as bad as being caught out like isolated, but I was a 2-man shackle. But they're unable to get anything done with it, because they themselves were a little bit split up by the time that they were getting in gear, getting ready to fight LGD, that shackle was already one off, and they could just walk in. Great Sunray in the back, so good positioning there from the Phoenix, being able to get that off just in case. Yeah.
Gold for my
Looks like they want to smoke up again here. Definitely grouping. Demons has one. There it is. It's almost feels like a desperation smoke already. September revealing himself. I mean, if LGD were looking at that, then might be figuring out that something shifty is going on. Yeah, I'm not actually looking for kill. I'm looking for Roche. I think this is a smart decision. If LGD don't pick up on that, then it's gonna give them some extra time. Right now we have an Invis on Old 11, but he's going towards the wrong direction, so either they know that this is going on and they just chose not to contest it, or they didn't know and they're just getting caught off guard, but I think the latter is more likely for LGD, but yeah. That gives CDC some time. So, but now the question becomes, does LGD feel like they're far enough ahead that they can take a fight even into Aegis? But you can still blow up Weaver. Might be able to snipe it away from him, like especially if he's so far away from the rest of the team. But yeah, they did see Old 11 now as his Vendetta expired. Still on level 1, that's interesting actually.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
I can understand wanting high levels of mana burn, but that level 2 of the Vendetta adds 10 seconds to the duration and takes 10 seconds off the cooldown, so the uptime is just so much better on it. Of course, in level 3 you can be permanently invis, but now Park actually gets caught out with the bug on top of him, so that'll cancel Blink. He gets roared up and actually straight up kills. Casual feed there for maybe. That's an unstoppable spree as well for Sep. That's something that you want to give away. Already has the Maelstrom going for the BKB, and that'll allow him to be a lot more safe in these fights. Looking at the graphs, it's with that pick off, it's been going a little bit in their favor. Still a very sizable advantage on LGD, but the problem is a lot of that is on these two cores, aim and maybe. If one of them dies, if they go do crazy shit like that and get picked off, then the combat mechanics mean that CDC will get more than they ought to, and it also means that LGD still can't take a fight. Yeah. If all of your net worth is focused on this one or two heroes, then it hurts you so much more if these heroes get picked off, or if they don't get to use their spells in a team fight because of control or something. So maybe you'd rather have like the Midas already going in the next assassin. He actually went back for the blink before the Midas, which I like. So he's still not totally decided. Oh, just stands in the sentry ward. Gets ward up, follow up stun here. Does get the spike Kerberos off, and so much burst damage being done here. His aim gets brought into the fight by maybe. Ouch, that was not safe work. That shackle with someone not connects to Sap now being slowed down, trying to wind run away. Now with the ultimate, actually doing quite so good job against aim, but of course he does have some help. Triple kill now done for him, and well, I was talking about how this net worth, if they can't play the heroes in a fight, then this net worth doesn't mean anything. But of course, the default is that this net worth, these levels, these items do mean a lot, and we've seen how exactly that shapes up. Aim with the Infest Bomb, brought in by maybe. Extra follow-up nukes, of course, from himself. Did a lot of work in that particular fight. Now Old 11 sees June. Kingdom for an Invoker here for Sunstrike to kill him with, but I don't think he can go to himself. Let's just restrict himself to getting vision and maybe pop in the smoke. You might have seen the animation actually, he's pinging it out. Yeah. Pinging, drawing, calling for the rest of this team to just get the hell out of there. Guys, smoke, TP out, TP back. Actually, space created, so. And this is the best thing that you can do as an offlaner. It's even better than just popping the smoke right away. Because CDC didn't know that they've been caught out. That they've been spotted going for this rotation. So Old 11, once again, huge playmaker here for LGD in a number of different ways. Chat catching up with my hashtag expert analysis. Either they knew about the Roche or they didn't. Yeah. It's true though, can't flame me for that, come on. But yeah, anyway. Maybe level 18 now, so max level coil. Flyby showing himself, not sure if that's the right idea, since he's alone, but maybe doesn't necessarily know that. Does have time lapse, does have ages, so he can go for these kind of plays, just trying to be a bit of a bully, but now? Old 11 with the passenger coming through, Flyby, still has plenty of mana for another couple of Chikuchis. But, they didn't quite find him! The jukes are real! The jukes are real, and now June keeping tabs on M99. The Aegis actually expires just now. But they still catch him here with a call, and this is so big. Do they have detection here? Well, the Shikuchi will run out in a second. Silence up, follow up, nuke damage from Old 11. He finally delivers aim to to where he wants to be. Oh no, that was so good with the jukes, but LGD have enough mobility to still be able to catch up, and even just as the Aegis expires. And it's a good victory. They don't want to. He doesn't want to buy back here now just to defend. I don't think he needs to, frankly, because CDC still have some decent high ground defense just with the power shot spam. As well as like the Wave of Terror and Boundless Strike, all of these long range spells, even the Wild Axes. So they can get rid of creepers quite easily at this point. So what LGD need to do to make this work is just blink in, get a couple more pickoffs on these crucial targets. They're setting up for that, right? Puck ready with the Lifesteal Infested. They're sitting on a high ground, and the ISI don't necessarily know that. They haven't seen them walk away though. And they have, of course, some critters to scout out the high ground safely. CDC don't want to take that fight instead. They're looking towards the middle lane. Yao was sitting there on low health. But the thing is, LGD did now see June making his way up here, and you see another hero, I believe. I don't know, it's flyby, maybe Shukuching all the way through. Just with that ward that was about to time out, so with this movement there from CDEC, they're just able to bring down a tier 3. No glyph available to use it earlier, and yeah, it's not just a huge misplay. LGD, they can easily interesting shackle. It's supposed to prioritize heroes, but yeah, it's like one of the shackles that I make when I try to play Windrunner, but there it is. Nice little double bundle strike here. Wukong's command come out. Lifestealer, half health. Phoenix Sun comes through. Nothing to focus it. September with a BKB trying to finish up aim, but it gets the Infest into one. Weaver, X back here, takes quite a bit of damage, but not that just yet. Maybe finally spills the first blood in this particular fight, and then turns around to finish off the racks. LGD still focus on buildings, focus on objectives during that chaotic team fight. Despite all these monkeys hitting away at them. But now, Buck's keeping track of a couple of heroes. The Axe on Flyby though. Plus another Jonah. Make sure that he survives. And June, well, he got plenty of damage. To at least secure one kill on the support Conclave. Was going for support, so not too greedy. Just went for the arcane boots and the urn instead of like face boots into armlet. Speaking of armlet, Lifesteal of course went back for that. He's super stacked actually. Didn't really look too much at his items, just his net worth, but yeah, it's items really working out. Sanjin Yasha, Armlet, AC, and now going into an MKB for the Windrunner, primarily. So, unless you can kill the Lifestealer first, he's going to wreck your face. I think that's pretty much a given. But yeah. Once again, this Roshan should be going into the hands of CDEC. LGD not really in a position to fight this out. And okay. Hold 11. They actually get the dust on top of him. Followed with bundle strikes. You can't blink away. Follow control. That check will not latch. No aim. Will reveal himself here. Gets the counter kill. Raw on the Phoenix on the side. So 1 for 1 so far. Old 11 still ready to throw down some control. Same for Maybe, just waiting for an opportunity to come in. Blink, that stun will actually miss. To still get enough burst off on the Windrunner. Now the bolt from the high ground, beautifully played. In Flame will take a tumble. This Maybe comes back in. Sans also on Flyby. Not quite enough to finish him off immediately, but he already used the time lapse. Now he'll have to use the Aegis. Old 11 will be able to time that stun. They should be able to finish him up the second time. Especially with the Axe Dragon in the back, and maybe ends that fight with a triple kill. It's just LGD running circles around CDC, even though they lost Yao. He didn't buy back, just respawned now. Didn't even need him for that fight. They did lose lifesteal in the middle of all of that, but not before he did a crippling amount of damage. Oh god, Inflame. Zap, zap, zap. Maybe. Went back for the Dagon. Level 2 now. He's even upgrading it. Like sometimes you see people just pick up a Dagon level 1 and then fill up the rest of the item slots just because it's more efficient. But maybe decide, screw it, just level that shit up. It does make some sense here up against these squishy heroes. I mean, even Windrunner, 1600 health, these supports, oh, beautiful double stun fold 11. Now follow from Maybe as well as Victoria. Two heroes absolutely deleted. Wombo combo down, and now this might actually be game here. Inflame pops a Necrobook, but now gets caught out again. Shivas from Yao showing off his net worth as Old 11 takes, at least keeps the other supports busy in the backlines. And yeah, gotta call it GG. Nothing left to throw at them. Flyby just taking a hard enough time trying to stay alive, but they got one kill. That took them way too long, so they, yeah, GG, proper call. And I don't know. I wasn't convinced of the draft. Beastmaster is just only so much you can do. I mean, I like the idea of him, but then that Windrunner last pick, I don't think that was the play. Really didn't do anything for CDC. So yeah, LGD able to add another point to the tally, which is another point closer to a secured spot in the playoffs here of DPL Season 3. Pretty good, pretty strong showing so far. New lobby invite, so getting ready for that in a moment. But yeah. The scoreboard. 3 Midases in the end for LGD. Old 11 never actually ended up going for one, though he kind of taunted me with having to queue it up all the time. But yeah. In this game, he realized he doesn't necessarily need to have the levels to have an impact. Instead, he just goes for these mobility and utility items, and he still got them at a decent pace, just because they got so many kills. With Old 11, obviously, bringing aim in every single time. But yeah, pretty straightforward game for LGD. So they're looking to try and repeat that in game number 2. And this will be actually the very last game for DPL tonight, so hopefully we're going to see some cool Dota regardless. But CDEC definitely have to pick up the pace if they want to make it competitive. They need to have a bit more of a synergistic draft, I think. But yeah, we'll find out what happens in just a couple moments' time, so don't go too far away.